So do you want to convert a lot more business using funnels, especially information products, and if you're selling coaching, courses, consulting? Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 funnels and how each of these can be used in different ways for you to really maximize your conversions, okay? So the first funnel, what I'm going to share with you is a funnel which is like the WhatsApp funnel. So if you're selling anything which is like a low ticket, you want to sell something for like say $5, $10, 500 rupees, all the way to 1,000 rupees to maybe maximum 2,000 rupees, you can use a WhatsApp nurturing funnel. So WhatsApp nurturing funnel goes like this. You drive traffic through Facebook ads, Google ads, and other traffic sources. They come to a lead capture page, then they get into the WhatsApp group, you give them daily assignments, you gamify the whole thing, and then after that, you sell your product, whatever may be your information product. It can be, like a course, it can be a consulting, it can be coaching, whatever may be the case. Okay, so you collect payment through InstaMojo, Razorpay, Stripe, PayPal, whatever be the case. Okay, now this particular model or this particular funnel works really well for especially if your target market does not have a very high affordability factor, or if you want to first get people at a very, very affordable cost. Like $5, $10 is nothing for something like this. If you want to give some value, 500 rupees to 1,000 rupees. And the pro about this is, yes, it is very easy on the pocket that people can come in. The only con about this particular model is that you'll have to manage the WhatsApp groups. Okay, and once you start to get high volume, like if you're generating say thousands of leads in a day, more than 500 to 600 leads per day, you have to keep changing the WhatsApp groups, and there's a lot of time in terms of management of those groups and nurturing them and things like that. So if you're going to be doing like a WhatsApp class, you'll have to either have support or a team to manage that for you, or you'll have to spend a lot of time in that whole management of the WhatsApp groups. Okay, that's the only con, but I would say I think it's a brilliant model which many of my students are also implementing, and even one of my good friends, Gopal, is the one who actually started out this concept, and I want to acknowledge that it is a brilliant model. Okay, now the second kind of funnel which you can use is called the direct sales funnel. Okay, now the direct sales funnel, how does it work? Is you drive traffic using Facebook ads, Google ads, and so on, drive them to a lead capture page, landing page, and then you directly, once you capture the lead, then you send them to the payment page, like a sales page. It's a very typical sales funnel. Like if you're running Facebook ads into a lead capture page and a sales page, they complete the payment and then they go and access the product. Okay. Now this really works well for any kind of products that you're selling under 1,000 rupees in value. Okay, so 999, 777, or even 1,999, whatever may be the case. Under 2,000 rupees also is a good price point for you to go for this particular direct sales funnel. And that what you can give away can either be a blueprint, it can be a mini course. Instead of a WhatsApp course, here what you're actually going to do is you're going to give them a login and password to access an actual course, which they can go into the learning management system and learn. And from that course, you can upgrade them to your next level program, since this is going to be like a 1,000 rupee kind of a product. Okay, so WhatsApp will work well for like 499, like 500 rupee product, or even 1,000 rupee. Here you're looking at 1,000 to 2,000, so next level. So the pro about this is it is more it's fully automated. Okay, you don't really have to manage groups. You don't have to really have these different WhatsApp groups and stuff. The only con in this is you may not have that level of engagement as compared to a WhatsApp group, because there's no gamification. You may not be able to really engage people, like posting things. And sometimes people, they would just buy the course, they may watch the first 2-3 videos, they don't complete the video. So you need to have like a very high energy or a high level of engagement in your videos, like in terms of your interaction and the way that you're going to design that curriculum for that mini course. It has to be very, very powerful. Otherwise, it's not going to do too well as compared to the previous funnel. The next kind of funnel which you can implement is called the high ticket consulting funnel. Okay, now high ticket consulting funnel works very well if you're going to be selling any product which is above 1 lakh, above 2 lakh rupees in total value, or anything above $1,000, $2,000 in that range. Now this is the funnel that high ticket consulting folks actually use. So they run traffic, Facebook ads, Google ads, other ads into a lead capture page. They capture the lead there, and once the lead is captured, then they go into a survey. Okay, you can use either Google Form or Typeform, and there are many other survey tools out there. I use Typeform personally because it's very awesome to really use logical jumps, and I can disqualify people in case they are not qualified for what I'm offering them. So when you use logical jumps, when you ask the right questions, and you can eliminate people who are not qualified, once they are qualified, let's say you ask them at least 15-20 questions, and on all the questions where you want them to say yes, or if you feel they're the right kind of fit for your high ticket program, if they're able to be qualified, only then at the end you can give them a link to a strategy call. Like a strategy call can be a link to a Calendly link, and then you bring them to a Zoom call, do a one-to-one session, and close. So basically, this funnel is where you can filter out those people who don't have the time, who don't have the energy, or don't have the affordability factor for a high-ticket product. In fact, that can be one of the questions. Do you have the financial capacity to afford, a strategic consulting worth say 1 lakh rupees for so many months? If they say no, then you can disqualify them. You don't even have to give them the link for the one-to-one appointment system. So keep that in mind, that you can use this, and the deal closing happens on a one-to-one level at the top. So the pro of this particular model is it is a high ticket model. So even if you get 1 sale or 2 sales per day, it can actually pay for all your marketing and advertising. And the con of this model is, yes, you need to be. It's not, I wouldn't say con, but you have to be really good at your subject. If you have to offer something for 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, you need to be really good, and it has to solve a big problem in the market. Okay. And the other thing is, you need to have teams also. You need to be having a team of good closers. I mean, not just closers, but those who can really educate, engage, give the right solution. So it also requires, human resources if you want to make this. Otherwise, one-to-one is going to take your time if you're going to do this yourself. Okay, so just keep this in mind, that this particular funnel works for high ticket, and you won't have freedom if you're doing this yourself. You need to have a team, and if the team is there, they need to be trained, and they need to be really good at this whole entire thing to work. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Yeah, just type loving it in the comment box if you're watching this. Yeah. Now the next funnel which I want to share with you is a funnel which is a live webinar funnel, which is what I do pretty much most of the time. It is this. I drive traffic into a lead capture system. They come to my live webinar, and I used to do it on Zoom. I used to do it on Demio. Now I'm using Webinar Jam, and I offer my product at the end of the webinar. People buy it, and then they access the product. But pretty straightforward. Okay. Now I've actually evolved this into something else which I'm going to share with you in the next funnel. Now the pro about this particular model is very straightforward. It's one-to-many. And you can really educate, engage, and offer your product. And I always like to do live webinars because I can call out people's names, I can engage with them, I can really educate them, and I can call out them even when they're buying my product. So they feel very special when they make that investment. And my course completion rate is extremely high because of this model. The industry average has a 5% course completion rate. I have a 45% course completion rate because I filter out. In fact, I tell people inside my live webinar that if you feel that this is not for you, you can leave the webinar. In fact, I disqualify people in the webinar itself. If you don't have the time, if you don't have the affordability, this is not for you. Don't waste your money. Okay, and I make it very clear, and I set the expectations on what they're going to get. And when I do this in a live scenario, because I'm bringing people into my world with this kind of a mindset, the completion rate is high, the success rate is also extremely high. Like I have hundreds of success stories in my Hall of Fame right now, because of this particular method of bringing people into my world. Okay. And this is what again, the pros of this is it's highly scalable. It is not like a WhatsApp where I need to nurture WhatsApp groups. It's not like a direct sales funnel where the conversion rates may be much lower than a webinar, and some people may not even watch the video. They just go and impulsively buy. The advantage of this is compared to the consultation funnel. Like here we are looking at a lower ticket product. We're looking at 5,000 to 10,000 rupee. 10,000 rupee is a good price point for the webinar funnel if you're selling anything as a tripwire. And you can even go up to 15,000 rupees also. So what I've noticed is this funnel is extremely profitable when it comes to the return on ad spends. Okay. And again, it's you have to look at the entire funnel. The con of this model is, webinar show up rates. Sometimes, Facebook also has different, algorithm changes. You got to keep working on your traffic sources and need to ensure that the show up rates are high. Show up rates can go from 30-40% if you're doing really well, or can even go down to 5% to 10% on the lower end of the spectrum. So you really need to work on that show up rate, and it also matters on the title of the webinar, the value that you're giving your webinar. And again, the other con of this particular model is you need to be good at webinars. You need to be good at delivering a 90-minute power-packed session, and it requires practice. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. And I have a course inside my community called Webinar Selling Formula, where I give my 90-minute webinar template for those people who are really interested in implementing this particular model. So this is the best model that's working for me. The next model is pretty much the same thing, but it's a paid webinar model. So you can do traffic into a lead capture page. People buy a webinar ticket either through InstaMojo Raise a Page, like a 99 rupees ticket, 199 rupees, 499 rupees ticket. They come for the live webinar, either on Zoom, Demio, Webinar Jam, and then they go and make the payment and they buy the product. So pretty much it's the same as the previous model, but the only difference here is they are making a payment and buying a ticket to come in. Again, the pros of this is your show up rate is going to be much higher because you are because you're charging people money. When people put their money, even if it's 200 rupees or 500 rupees, they're going to be more committed to showing up. But on the other side, on the con side is, yes, the show up rate may be high, but the actual number of people in the webinar will maybe lesser as compared to a free webinar. And the other thing is, you need to look at the conversion numbers. Ultimately, you need to test the numbers. And the magic number is your CPA, or your cost per customer acquisition. How much are you spending on ads and how many customers are coming out of that on your particular product, and then you need to divide that. So total ad spends divided by total customers would give you a particular number. That is your cost per customer acquisition. Now, if you want to test between these two, you need to look at that. Okay, what is your total ad spends? What is your CPA? In fact, when you're doing your overall calculation, if you're doing a paid webinar, you can deduct the revenue that is coming in from your paid webinar on the total ad spends, and whatever is the amount that you have spent, you divide that by your number of customers, and you would know what CPA is actually working for you. For me, my magic number is CPA, okay, on the front end. Then I look at my other conversion metrics on the back end. Okay, so there's much more to this game, guys. If you're watching this live and if you're not a part of my community, I would highly recommend that you be a part of my community. You just note down this link. I have one more funnel to share with you. I'm going to share with you my funnel. But if you go to sids.co/formula, you'll actually learn my formula. It is more like an onboarding tutorial, which for those of you who want to get into my community, I have over 7,000 people. I would say it's India's largest community of knowledge givers who are on a mission to really create an impact in this world. So jump in, join hands with us and take your knowledge forward. Now, the last funnel which I want to share with you is my funnel which I'm using right now, which is a hybrid funnel. It is a hybrid funnel where I've taken elements of the WhatsApp model, I've taken elements of the consulting model, and I've taken elements and I do the regular webinar model itself. So what you're able to see here, it's a hybrid model where I drive traffic into a lead capture page. After they I capture the lead, I bring them into a group. I'm testing out between a Facebook group, a Telegram group, and a WhatsApp group. Right now, I'm just testing between these three, but pretty much once they come into the group, I nurture them. I share a lot of case studies. I share a lot of success stories, and I basically pre-frame them before they come to the live webinar. Now, the other thing what I do is, before somebody comes for the live webinar, I send them to an automated orientation video, which is a 45 minutes video, like a pre-webinar orientation. And some people, they're ready to buy then and there itself in that video. And some people, they want to come for the live webinar. My live webinar is between 90 minutes to 2 hours, but the same essence of that live webinar, I also share a 45 minutes pre-webinar orientation. So I also get sales, directly from the automated webinar. And those people who do not buy in the automated webinar, they come to the live webinar and they purchase there also. So I basically want to maximize the juice in terms of the return on ad spends that I'm doing. So there's multiple ways to get people into this. Okay, so these are the different funnels. If you found this useful, just type super useful in the comment box. I would love you to share this because there's somebody else who's watching this video. They're going to get a lot of information. In fact, if you have a friend or a family member or someone who is actually a knowledge giver, who's an expert, just tag them below here. If you're watching this on Facebook, just tag them, because they can learn so much to take their knowledge forward and apply any one of these funnels that I've shared. Okay, so thank you so much. Looking forward to sharing more and more stuff like this with you in the future. Cheers, God bless, and take care. Bye bye.